Councilman refuses to resign after being exposed for using the N-word, being very defiant here. Put it at full mass, and I will tell you exactly why this is a problem. Defiant councilman refuses to resign despite the wife's body cam video admission he used racial slurs against a young Black man before a parking lot fight. So the body cam footage captured the aftermath of the altercation involving the councilman. His name is Scott Marn in Mentor, Ohio. After he reportedly got into a fight with a 26-year-old Tony Q. Jackson Davis outside a Buffalo Wild Wings. That's according to News Cleveland. Confrontation began after witnesses reported that Mr. Jackson Davis was driving erratically in the parking lot and then heard an argument that worsened when racial slurs started being thrown around. The councilman's wife is heard on body cam footage telling officers that the councilman called Jackson Davis the N-word. Quote, he called him an N-word, Wendy Marn told police in a body cam video. Quote, I'm sorry he did. As more officers gathered at the scene, an unidentified woman was heard yelling the same racial slur and also a death threat. Effing N-word, I'm going to kill you, the woman shouted. Now, that is considered to be a terroristic threat. That's a crime. You cannot threaten physical harm or death against another human being. It's not the way this works. Body cam video also recorded the moments Mr. Jackson Davis accused the councilman of using the slur before he knocked him unconscious. Quote, you know what you did? You were racist, Jackson Davis said. He spit in my face. Of course, he's going to be unconscious. The councilman never denied using any racial slurs, but he did admit that while he did not call Jackson Davis the N-word, he told him, you're acting like one. Oh, that's the distinction. You're not an N-word, you're acting like the N-word. Okay, so that's his affirmative defense here. Quote, you want to call me the N-word, calling us N-words and everything else, Marn recalled Jackson Davis saying. I said, listen, I'm not calling you N-word, but you're acting like one. I go, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to fall into these racist black on white, white on black crimes, he told News 5. Jackson Davis pleaded guilty to felonious assault for the incident and was recently sentenced to 4 to 6 years in jail. Marn later released a statement about the incident, apologizing for his actions. And that said he was triggered by an emotionally charged and he was in a frightened state of mind. And here we go. So a portion of the statement reads, as I find it in my heart to forgive the violence done to me the night of September 7th, it is my hope there is forgiveness in the hearts of anyone I may have offended in the Black community, for which I am sorry. I am looking forward to attending implicit bias training. I have tried to live my life with love and openness to all, and that will never change. So that's his quote, basically. This isn't the only alleged wrongdoing. There's more. So the councilman, Marn, was already embroiled in a lawsuit that accused him and other council members of Mentor, the city, of statutory retaliation, sexual harassment, age discrimination, and a denial of due process. The suit claimed that Marn bragged to female employees about being able to have sex with women outside the confines of marriage And one suggested that a female employee should use part of her raise to get a breast enhancement, among several other allegations. Now, according to News 5, the councilman peers plan to call him to resign from his position at an upcoming city council meeting over, quote, gross misconduct and a violation of his oath of office. As of now, the councilman does not plan to resign. Now, councilman, you're kind of racking them up here, sir. All right. You're alleged to be a racist utilizing racial slurs. You are alleged in a sexual harassment lawsuit, and also violating an individual's or multiple individuals' due process. As I've said before, typically when there's one ism that shows, that ism travels with other isms. You typically won't have racism without having sexism, et cetera, et cetera. The reason why this is so important is because whatever bias he believes he has, and at least we can say confidently, he thinks he has implicit bias. Now, why can I say that? Because he said in his own statement that he's going to take implicit bias training. Okay, so you have implicit bias. Here's the issue. If we even take that on face value, I believe it's quite provocative and out there, the kind of bigotry you're engaged in. But even your implicit bias means you have weighed that bias before you weighed a policy. And you're in a position of policy. Your policies create life or death for the individuals in your community who pay your, well, paycheck. That's the reason it's important to highlight. All right, we'll keep you updated as updates develop.